Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go-to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Whether you're just starting out or scaling up, this is your space to connect, learn, and grow alongside a community of trailblazing women who, just like you, they are making their mark in the world of business. From personal branding to powerhouse marketing, from leadership to lifestyle tips, we've got you covered. So get ready to ignite your passion, fuel your purpose, and unlock your potential with Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. Let's make this journey together and turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality. Hi, and welcome to the Real Female Entrepreneurs. I am so excited for you to meet a trailblazer and multi-passionate woman. She is a live strategist for couples. Don't we all need that? I know I do. Teaching driven couples how to transform their marriage in a weekend with intentional life planning. You know what? She's also the co-host of the Marriage with Intention podcast with her husband, a vision board and goal setting workshop leader, yoga teacher, oh my God, to lawyers of all things, and former lawyer herself, and a law firm partner. She is a boy mom. Are you also a girl mom or just a boy mom?
That's the boy mom.
You are just love that. So she's a boy mom and personal development nerd. Welcome to the club. Years of yoga and vision boards, investing in herself, and quarterly marriage alignment retreats with her husband have helped her to create the life of her dreams. She's helping others do the same with her gifts. And we all need it. Trust me. You all need this life planning transformation. She's amazing. You know what? She not only has done all those amazing things, she was an extra in a Christmas rom-com movie. I don't know if you like me. I'm a Christmas rom-com movie nerd, and traveled throughout Portugal for 6 weeks with her husband and then 3-month-old son. Wow, some of the dreams that she has really come true, and I believe they continue to happen, and that's why she wants them to happen for you. So get ready for an inspiring, heartwarming, and fun conversation with Aman Costigan as she shares her journey, her wisdom, and strategies to help you turn your vision into a reality. Welcome.
Thank you so much. This is going to be so fun.
It is. It is. So I want to know, I mean, a lawyer to marriage coach to retreat, all these fabulous things you do. What inspired you to become the amazing entrepreneur you are? Something had to happen in your life.
Yeah. So I was practicing law for 12 years. And about halfway through that point, I had this like kind of whisper voice in my ear that was like, I want to do something and create something of my own with my own rules and my own creation, and really just kind of prove to myself that I could make like $1 for myself. I had been kind of a serial employee for a long time. My parents had taught me, have multiple jobs, which served me very well, right? To get to where I was going. I became a law firm partner, had practiced all that kind of stuff. And I finally had a minute to kind of just pull my head up out of the sand, look around and go like, is this it? And I realized like, no, I need to listen to that whisper and I need to try something. So I had a few different ideas. I then took action on one of them, which is one of the ones you mentioned, teaching yoga to lawyers. So that's the one I decided to take action on during the pandemic. And it was just yoga is something near and dear to me. And I think allowed me to stay in private practice as a lawyer for 12 years. And I just wanted to share what I had learned with others, especially during the pandemic. It kind of was the perfect time to showcase my talents and create that community and impact others at the same time.
Definitely. I mean, being a lawyer is stressful. I mean, a little tip, I was a court reporter for 10 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was a court reporter for 10 years and I used to see the stress. I mean, I was stressed, but the stress that they walked in with, oh, those poor babies, they needed yoga. They needed some serenity in their life, especially females. Because I mean, they were living in a man's world.
Yes. And the shoulders are like always up here. So really my yoga was like, let's just put our shoulders down.
I feel like I have to do that too sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, it's like it was a practice for me as much as it was a sharing with others as well.
Yeah, I that is just perfect though. And so how did going into the marriage retreat happen?
Right. So I started teaching yoga to lawyers in 2021. And then with that, I also led vision board workshops for lawyers as well. So that kind of started tapping into my futuristic gifts, my strategy gifts, my goal setting, my planning. I love planning and goal setting and all those things. And I wanted to then share those gifts with the world, but I didn't exactly have a how. And so in around 2020, my husband and I joined another couple who were hosting these quarterly marriage alignment retreats. And essentially you do them on your own, but they were just kind of guiding us like, this is the framework that you do. And we're here to help you. But otherwise, like you're the one doing the work. And I just fell in love with them because I had always been goal setting for myself. I'm very driven, high achieving, right? I was doing goals, between Christmas and New Year's by myself downstairs in our basement. And my husband was kind of doing goals in his own way. And so we got married in 2020 during the pandemic. And everyone kept telling me, well, you guys already live together. So like marriage doesn't really change anything. It just kind of changes the name of the relationship. And I was like, that can't be. I'm not getting married just to change the name. Like, then what's the point? And so then I had this program that we had done with this couple that they had shared. And then I was getting married at the same time. So the two kind of came together and I was like, wait a minute, this is partly what marriage is about, is getting on the same page, getting aligned, talking about your dreams, talking about your money, how you're going to fund those dreams, and then living that out sooner than later, right? Later is, we all know we keep saying later and later just sometimes never comes. And so we had been doing it for 4 years. And then I reached out to the couple and said, can I teach what you guys taught us? Because I just love this stuff and I want to do it in kind of my own way. So I've incorporated visualization. So like that yoga aspect, the strategy, and basically I've taken that on myself, along with my husband in July of this year. So in 2024.
Oh, that is amazing. And from my understanding, we talked about taking the baby on the journey. What year was that?
That was 2022.
Wait, okay. So you actually, since 2020, you got married. 2022, you had your first child.
Yes.
Okay. And what else has happened?
So we took him traveling. And then one of my big dreams, especially during the pandemic, it kind of got seeded, was I wanted to be an extra in a Christmas rom-com movie. And I was on maternity leave. And then I saw this posting for calling for extras to be in a Christmas rom-com in our city, which had never happened before from what I had ever seen. And I was like, yes. But I was like, at that time, it would have been like 5-month-old. I'm like, how am I supposed to go like with a 5-month-old and myself? Because like we were together all the time. So I was like, I'm going to take him with me. So I just like overcame all the obstacles of like, I can't go, I shouldn't go, like, because I don't know when, they're going to want us, how long I'm going to be there. So I literally went for 2 days and I filmed and I actually ended up in the movie, which is so, so cool. And I met the coolest people and I had the most fun and I don't regret it at all. It was so freaking awesome. And it was a dream come true for me.
That has to be fun. Now, when I say I am a Christmas rom-com movie girl, I watch Christmas movies all year long.
Yep, that was me during the pandemic.
Yeah, I still like if I know you're not supposed to do this, but it's the only time I get a break sometime is when I'm eating. I will put on a half an hour of a rom-com and just, pause it.
Yes, yeah. And they're totally like meant for that. Like you can just pause it and come back and it's so heartwarming and feels good.
It's got to feel good feeling. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. All right.
something else happened, I think, too, during that time up until now, correct?
Yes. And so we also ended up back in fertility. So my first son, we were in fertility treatment for that. And then the second time, because they said that we were a little bit older, that kind of thing, we were 37 and 38. They said, okay, back in fertility you go. But it turned out we ended up getting pregnant naturally. So my son was born actually just a month ago. So November 2024. And I also left my law practice in April of 2024. So not that long ago now. My husband, also a lawyer, left his practice in May of 2024 and launched our new business, Life Strategist for Couples, teaching couples that intentional life work in July of 2024. So it has been a whirlwind. We also went traveling with our son before he turned 2. So we went to Italy and Amsterdam. We went to Sardinia and Naples, visited Pompeii, and we did that for a month in June of 2024 as well. So we have been moving and grooving and shaking things up and getting wild and kind of settling back in this last month.
Okay. So how do you balance the demands of your life and running a business? I mean, that is really, there's a lot of personal responsibility going on between personal and business. So how do you manage it all?
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is planning. I plan ahead. Like I have a wall calendar for the month ahead so I can actually like see what's coming up and I can plan accordingly. So I can actually like stress test the calendar and be like, there's way too many things that week. I'm going to need to hire help, or I'm going to need to reach out to my support family and friends and get some help, or communicate with my husband and tell him, I have a podcast today that I'm recording. Can you, do this for this time? This is what I need for today. And I also just plan weekly. Every Friday, I sit down and I plan the next week ahead. So again, and then I can look at my calendar. I'm a day planner girl. I use pen to paper, and I use multiple colored pens and different colored Post-its. And I like write down for each of them, okay, this is what's happening. And then I can see like, that's way too many things. Like that's not going to happen. I'm just setting myself up to not do any of the things or feel bad at the end of the day because I didn't do all the things that I wanted to do. So I still fall into the trap. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect in any way, but at least I can see ahead what's coming and I can kind of reorganize. And I really have to prioritize ruthlessly, which is the other thing, which comes into that. And just trying to not fall into that, trying to do all the things. And oh my gosh, I didn't do all the things on my to-do list. So like that means something bad about me, or that I did something wrong, or, that I'm not enough, that kind of thing. So I've really worked on that as well. As I kind of go through every week and what's coming up.
So I am in love with the fact that you said you prioritize, and with that prioritization, you look at, okay, who in the tribe, meaning either somebody who you can delegate to or a family member who can assist, because don't you feel that's like the most important things to making things happen?
Yes, I actually just wrote an email about this to my email group about how the most, I think, successful thing you can do for yourself and the most like loving thing is to reach out to your support people and to ask for that help. Like whether it's paid, whether it's free, whether it's a babysitter, whether it's, work in your business, it doesn't matter. Like just having that support and not carrying it all yourself has been huge and hard at the same time.
So I think it's fabulous that since the pandemic, you have actually started 2, maybe 3 whole businesses. So my next question goes to, what advice do you give to all these female entrepreneurs who are actually thinking about starting their own business?
Yeah, I think what really helped me was surrounding myself with women who were doing what I wanted to do and how I wanted to live. So whether that was in my physical circle, which I didn't really have many people who were kind of wearing many different hats and doing different things. And so that meant for me reaching out online, like finding the people online, listening to podcasts like you, putting that in my ear every week and like just flooding my feed and my system and my eyes and my everything with women who were doing what I aspired to do. And that just changed, like that just completely changed and kind of canceled out the people who were like, well, why would you do that? You're already a successful lawyer. Why do you want to do more things? Like you shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing this other thing. And it just kind of canceled out or kind of silenced, at least for a minute, the people who wanted me to just stay where I was trying to like pursue this whisper that I really wanted to go after.
And I like how you say whisper. Can you explain that? Because some people don't understand that whisper.
Yeah, so I just had this like kind of thing in the like not nagging is not the right word, but like this like little voice in my head that would pop up when I was like working or when I was in bed or when I was in the shower. There'd be this kind of like whisper voice or like myself saying to myself like, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool? Like, don't you want to do this thing? Like, don't you want to create something of your own? Like, what if we taught yoga?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm not yoga teacher certified. I don't want to show up online. I don't have a space to teach. Like, I don't know how." And I'd come up with all these reasons why I couldn't do it. And it was like, okay. And then I'd leave it alone. And then it would pop back up. And then I'd leave it alone. And then it'd come back up. And so it was like at those times, I just heard this voice in my head. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll like kind of listen and see what's there.
What advice would you give to somebody who is struggling right now inside their business? And let's be specific. They're hearing the voice, but they're struggling to move forward to that.
Ooh, I think this kind of might relate to what's going to be my business goal for 2025, and it's to fail more. So for me, like failing is really hard, right? Like I've done all the things to check all the boxes to get to the place where the outside world saw me as successful. And I'm proud of myself for doing all those things and learning everything I did, but failing is really hard. And so I think for that person, it's putting yourself out there and being okay and having your own back to fail and fail over and over and over again, to just try things, because you never know unless you try. Otherwise, you'll just, like what happens to me is I just don't take any action at all. Right. And then months, years go by. Right. And then it's like, well, why didn't I wish I would have, when I look back, I'm like, I wish I would have started earlier.
Yeah. And I told you my story earlier about how I've been wanting to do this for 20 years. And I kept saying that I'm going to work with female entrepreneurs and I wanted to do a magazine, and people would just look at me and think I was crazy. And 10 years ago, I got the name, and I just decided recently to less than a year ago, okay, boom, about the same time as you, July.
Yes.
Where we both went boom, and it hit. July's the month.
Yes, that's what I'm gathering here.
All right. Knowing what you've learned so far in business and actually being a lawyer as well, what advice or tip would you give to somebody, or even your 18-year-old self? How about that?
I think I still struggle with this, but I would tell myself, like, it's not about the likes, and it's not about, right? Like, we sometimes get so obsessed about like the likes and the people aren't commenting, or, people aren't liking my stuff. And we just see that kind of from the outside world and think we're having no impact. And I constantly have to remind myself, and I would even tell my 18-year-old self, like, to have the confidence to just keep showing up, and not because somebody 20 people liked your post or 3,000 people liked your post, but just keep doing you and keep showing up, and you will, it will happen. It just takes time.
I agree with that, because showing up is one of the hardest things as female entrepreneurs, because we have to put ourselves out there. Nobody's telling us you have to do this as an employer. You have to do it yourself.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. All right. What is the key strategy that you've maybe used in the past to help you scale your business?
Yeah, I think the biggest one, so whether it's Beyond Yoga for Lawyers, where I was teaching yoga to lawyers, or the vision board workshops that I did, and then now with the couples program that we have, the one thing that I've done for all of them that has given me success is reaching out to my network. So I actually have like a list that I've created for myself of like the people who love me. And it's like, yes, it's family, but it's also other women entrepreneurs who I know will support me no matter what. And that can look like anything. That can look like when I have a launch and I'm like, hey, I'm going to post this reel or this video or this post tomorrow. Would you mind liking, commenting, sharing with your network? Here's a little sample of what you could write. Hey, I'm starting a podcast. I did this for my podcast too. I was like, hey, I'm starting a podcast. Would you mind writing, like rating, reviewing, sending it to one person you know, or maybe sharing it with your network if you feel so called, like anything little to anything big. So I have and then these are the people I know that love me to death and will do it like hands down. And then I have like a second list who are like, they also love me, but they might not do it. So it just kind of allows me to kind of break through the resistance about, oh, nobody wants to help me, but actually everyone wants to help me. They want to support me. They want me to be able to share and help more people. And anyway, so that's kind of one of the things that I've done is really just reach out to my network.
Okay, so I've heard reach out to my network before. I have never heard that strategy of putting the list into place and knowing, I mean, the first list is everybody who you know, no matter what, doesn't matter what's happening in their life, they are going to do whatever they have to for you.
Yes. Yes.
I love that. And the second one, we're probably 50-50 because, you know, life gets in the way. They might do something, then they might not. Oh, I love that. That is like one of the best strategies to actually, especially if you're putting out something special.
Yes. Yes. When I was transitioning from lawyer, partner to life strategist, that was a big shift for me and a big shift for my online community to share that. And so I just knew that was something. And as I've shared, 2024 has been wild with different things that have happened throughout the year. And so I was like, this is a shift. This is a big one. I'm going to ask my network. I'm not asking every single time, but I'll ask probably 2-3 times in the year. You know, could you help me with this thing that I'm launching? And then my, you know, the people who love me to death, they're like, podcast reviews start rolling in, their comments start rolling in, like they're on it, like right away, they start doing it, right? And that gives me the ability to then be like, okay, now I move on to, you know, the next list or the, you know, the, maybe there's even another people I haven't even thought of yet who I just met, like maybe they would want to support me, you know, and you got to ask. And if they don't say anything, it doesn't mean anything about me. It could just be that they really want to, but they're just wrapped up and busy at the time. And they really, you know, wish that they could, but they got something else going on, and that's okay too.
Yep. So what about any future plans? Because you're a mover and a shaker, it seems like, on a regular basis. I love that one because that's just how I roll. However, what I want to know specifically, what future plans or goals that we should like keep an eye out for from you?
Okay, so this one is magic. It's a big goal.
I love magic.
So right now, my husband and I have a DIY program. So essentially, couples do it on their own, and we have online video and a workbook that goes with it and a few other things. The other thing we do is we work with couples one-on-one. So we'll do strategy call and we'll do a pre-call to get them all ready for their QMAR weekend. The new thing that I want to launch eventually is a white glove service. So essentially, it's a couple that wants to do a QMAR, but they're like, I'm just way too busy. I just want to show up for the weekend and be there with my spouse, do the framework that you have, and leave with all my big goals and visions and everything set. So what I want to do is have this white glove service where they really just fill out like a 1-page questionnaire. What are your favorite foods? What's your favorite environment? What do you love to do together? And then I will like curate that for them, and they just show up.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
what a couple's weekend. Oh my word. I mean, just picture that. Just them walking in and just everything's there for both of them. And they don't have to think about anything. And it just puts them in an easy mode where all they're doing is planning their life together and setting those long-term goals.
Yes. Yes.
And they don't have to cook.
Yep.
They don't have to do anything. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's where I'm headed.
I can see that happening. Definitely. She's like, all right. If you had one superpower for only 24 hours, what would it be?
Okay. To fly.
To fly.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about the others.
Yeah. What would you do?
I think I would go meet some of the online people that I've made friends with and turn them into in real life friends. That'd be one thing. And then 2 would be obviously to travel to as many places as I possibly could, as fast as I could, but also to experience at the same time.
So we're down in New Orleans. You come down with those babies and your husband will have fun.
Yes.
All right. What's one fact about you that maybe not a lot of people know?
Oh, I love Turkish dramas, like Turkish soap operas and Turkish movies.
That has to be fun.
Yes, it's rom-com like to the extreme. Like it's to the extreme of all things. Like, and it's fun, and it's not something that I thought I would be really into, minus the reading the subtitles. But it's worth it for, I don't know. I love the fashion. I love the storylines. The drama is like way too much, and so I just love that.
I love Indian wedding rom-coms. Love them.
Yes, so good. And the outfits, oh, yes.
Oh my God. And the dancing.
Yes.
All right. Your favorite book?
I'm going to go with a business book. So I'll go with The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And it's all about resistance. And I thought it was just me kind of thing when I first, wanted to embark on entrepreneurship and doing my own thing and creating things with my own rules. And it just made me realize that it's more than just me. And we all face that kind of resistance on the daily, hourly sometimes.
All right. What about a personal?
So was it a song? Sorry, was it a song?
You can do a song, but do you have a personal book? Because you said
yes, I brought it. It was The Whole Brainchild.
Oh, that's a good book.
Yes.
That is a great book. Yeah, that'll help a lot of women. That'll be great.
Yes.
With children. So thank you for that. All right. Now, what is your favorite song?
Yes. Okay. So I love this one. I listen to it and I like blast it when I can. Unless my son says too loud. And I'm like, I like loud music.
I do.
Yeah. It's The Champion by Carrie Underwood.
Yep. That's a favorite. I mean, we get that every month. That's like our go-to. Everybody loves The Champion. They do.
Yep. So good.
All right. Your favorite quote?
I'll go business too. So I'll say, pursue simple, get fancy later.
That is a really good one. That is really good. All right. How do you stay motivated?
How do I stay motivated? I think just reminding myself about why I'm doing it. And I think it's really easy to forget, to get caught in the day-to-day. This is what I have to do today. This is what I have to do this week. But it's sometimes harder to like look out and be like, why am I doing this in the first place? And thinking about the people you're helping, even though you might not see immediate results right away. It's knowing that you're there for the long game and for however long it takes. And I think planning is a way of motivating myself as well. I think that's why I plan, because it like helps me stay focused and my brain a little bit out of the, this squirrel. Oh, maybe we should try this new shiny thing. Maybe we should do this other thing instead. Maybe we should switch.
Do you have to do your own planner? Because I have trouble finding a planner that I love. I have to do my own.
So I used to make my own planner for several years. I made my own. And then I just decided to take someone else's and it was good enough.
It was good enough. See? Yeah, I understand.
Yes.
All right. What is the best way for our audience to connect with you and your business?
I think I'd send people to Marriage with Intention, our podcast my husband and I started. And the other place I would say is if you're curious about the quarterly marriage alignment retreats, I have a free framework on our website, amancostigan.com. And so just find me there and we can connect.
Great. And is there anything else we didn't talk about that you'd love to share with our female entrepreneurs that are listening?
I think my other biggest thing that's helped me continue to evolve and grow is surrounding myself with and putting myself in rooms with women entrepreneurs who are smarter than me, doing crazier stuff than me, and that I aspire to do. Like I'm always trying to level up and put myself in different rooms and meet different women. And that has, again, been my network, but also my the way that I have personally been able to keep myself growing as well. And so I invest in myself regularly and in my mind regularly, because that's what's getting me to keep taking action and to pushing forward and to setting those bigger goals and then achieving them.
I love it. That is so true. And I want to thank you so much for being on with us today. And thanks for being our guest. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.